In Monster Hunter, there are many classifications of monsters. In previous run, we have seen the bird wyverns, the temnocerans, and carapaceans, but the largest class by far in all three of the Monster Hunter Stories installments are the Flying Wyverns. Now, by the name, you would assume all of them can fly, but that is not the case. Today we will be seeing how powerful the flightless Flying Wyverns are, which include the following families: Nargacuga, Tigrex, and Diablos. And for a bonus, I will also add Gravios to this list. Why? See for yourselves. As usual, I am writing my script as I go along with the story, meaning I have no idea what is going to happen in advance. The rules are as follow: monstie and equipment from Flightless Flying Wyverns only. No items in battle except for paint bombs. No duplicate monsties. Unless forced to by the story, I can only use field skills from Flightless Flying Wyverns. Now, I have to clarify, to access some of these monsters, flight will be required. If I have to break my rule, I will let you know. I cannot fight feral monsters or advance the story with meals active. No side stories, and no changing a monstie's element. Starting the run, I create my character inspired by the Silverwind Nargacuga. Now, I won't beat around the bush. The earliest we get any usable monsties are the Tanalta Timberlands. So instead of having you suffer through the whole ordeal, here's a montage of the first area. If you want to see me go through this region, I have other challenge runs where I do play through Azuria normally. With Magnamalu gone and the Timberlands unlocked, I only have one thing to do before I get my first monstie. Defeat the invasive Nursella, which required the use of a gunland. For the purpose of making this challenge possible, I will accept using the starting gunlance. Grabbing Nargacuga's egg, we proceed in freeing it in the San Pedro Plains where the Raffians reside. After catching up to my level, greatly thanks to Korra's ability as the sole ally capable of breaking barrel felines, here are my Nargacuga's stats. His name is Shinobi, meaning ninja in Japanese. I made 3 attempts against Nargacuga for its resources, but at this level it is not yet possible, mainly due to the spike bombs that are automatic cards. To make up for the fights I skipped, here is Feral Paolumu being at level and his ability to use thunder make him somewhat of a threat, but as long as you remember to use power when grounded and technique when afloat, the fight isn't too hard. As long as he doesn't use thunder, which he luckily didn't. Then the next very scary feral monster for its use of thunder, Tubi Kadechi. My first attempt was horrible. I made mistake after mistake. First I brought the wrong ally, then I would confuse its enraged state for its calm state, right as I was about to win, costing me this attempt, and that's not mentioning the times I would attack it still at the wrong time. Second attempt started horribly, what with Shinobi acting like an imbecile and targeting the crystals when they were shining, costing him 1 card on turn 2. But afterward, I made sure he stopped targeting the tail like a moron. Now using the proper attack types of technique when calm, power when mad, having Korra as an ally to abuse his secondary weakness to hot women, I meant fire. And also breaking his fucking crystals. Very important, don't be like me. Adding Palumu and Nargacuga to the Blessing Hill area, unlock Green and Silver Wind Nargacuga. Taking their eggs, I hatch them and name my Green Nargacuga Mus and my Silver Wind Kunoichi, which is a female ninja. Now, for subspecies, I can only use them if I have a piece of their equipment crafted. As for deviants, I will need to defeat Malzeno to unlock them. This way, all party members get a time to shine. Not wanting to advance the story further and seeing the feral Tetranodon is doable, I pounce on him. On my first attempt, I was plainly unlucky. But on the second one, Tetranodon did not focus me entirely, and my party managed to survive AoE attacks all the while dealing good damage. As long as a big platypus would let me use the healing song, I could heal my party, winning me the fight without even breaking the crystals or knocking him out of his standing stance. Finally, all these fights had given me enough EXP to fight Nargacuga on somewhat even footing, as long as I had good RNG, and the next attempt was the one. It got paralyzed when it tried using its AoE, my ally was dealing good damage by using its weakness, I applied severe poison very early. The fight could not have gone better for me. With Nargacuga defeated, I am able to craft one weapon and armor, meaning that from this point on, I no longer am allowed to use any of my old equipment. Now with my legal equipment, I go straight to Feral Somnacant. While I am slightly higher level than I normally would be at this point, my monstie and I are still weak to Thunder. Its secondary element is what I would say if he did not miss every crucial attack one after another, ending the fight without a single card. Next is the the overwhelmingly easy Great Izuchi. Now this fight is very easy in general, but now with an Nargacuga capable of using AoE attacks, he stands no chance. The only card was from my counterattack after I attacked the crystals, underestimating the counter damage. Before I go for the bear's dead spot, here are Shinobi's stats. Now the Ursurus gang did not like me trying to take away their honey, to my surprise. Even though I thought I had dealt enough damage and defeated all the ants, he still managed to use his honey attack carding me twice, but I easily defeated him right after. Then using our new Palamute, we dig to the next boss. The Furlachnosum is a stupid bird and cats eat birds. Nargacuga is a cat. Now do the math. Plus the stupid part of the bird forgot how to math to 4, only ever targeting Korra and Nargravios. That or Nargacuga is so sneaky, he can beat you to death and you can fight back because you forget all about him while he beats you up. Having unlocked expeditions, I once again create my usual stamina regeneration build. I expect all other party members to have a similar build. Before going for the frog, here are Shinobi's stats. For Yamatsukami, because of my last run where my allies acted like brainless monkeys, I decided to use Ogden as my ally. If he is to be an idiot, at least he'll be a useful idiot. However, Yama seemed to have forgotten he could use AoE because he barely ever used any, making the fight a cakewalk where I would simply attack and every once in a while heal. Almudron is, as usual, not an issue at all. What with its low stats due to us being alone, simply poison him and beat him up until you can ride. From there, his only troublesome mechanic, the mud, is a thing of the past due to status immunity while riding. Right away, the first thing I do when entering Tarkuan's desert is collect the eggs of Black Gravios, Black Diablos, Diablos, and Gravios. Right now, I can only use Gravios and Diablos, as I did not create a piece of equipment from their variants. I think I should explain in more details why I decided to add Gravios in a Flightless team run. Well, yes, it can technically fly according to the game. I see its flight to be more akin to a chicken's, hence the pun's names for my two Gravios, Hen and Rooster. They can beat their wings, maybe even glide for a moment, but it is not real flight like a Rathalos. After a long egg and resources collecting session, here are the 3 usable party members' stats. Now, Diablos' name is a play on their spikiness and how they eat cacti, which are also spiky. Now, with these resources, I create myself a Gravios hammer for the invasive Diablos. The monster itself isn't too hard, but it does have an annoying gimmick based on timing your hit with the dust cloud, requiring your armor skill to hit. All this to get the final species available in this run, Tigrex. Verlan Jarakan follows up, and I expected to be overleveled for it, but I was glad to see it was still dealing a bit of damage to my party, resulting in a card that was mainly my fault for not paying attention and attacking the crystals while they were shining. But the fight was not too hard, using Bard for his fire resistances. I managed to climb atop him and gore this monkey to death. After unlocking the Tigrex's variants, I went and got their eggs, naming them after renowned tigers. Now, given I have very limited flight with my party, here is what I could do using only Hen, my Gravios, and the Deathmouth. Everything I couldn't do afterward will be done using Rafa. Arriving at Raknakadeki, I give my all using Vostok, but without heal and a serious lack of proper crowd control, I quickly fall against the boss. To resolve these issues, I first defeat the feral Nursela. Find new genes for Vostok, got the stamina regen build, and finally defeated the Diablos to make into an armor. If you find Diablos hard, I suggest you take Ogden with you. It made the fight much easier for me. Returning to the big Spuda, the fight goes much better now that I am actually battle ready. First, I use a collection of AoE attacks to get rid of the ads. Then I target Rachna's legs until they break and climb onto Vostok's back, occasionally healing. But then also managed to break the crystals before the legs were broken, making the fight much easier, only to then end on a kinship skill. the apex predator of the desert. So of course, I brought Barb with me to show this idiot what a true apex is, and he took the beating of his short life. What with Barb destroying each part, one after the other, starting with its silly horns and ending it with a kinship skill to flex on this idiot a little. Note the fight was a second try because Barb used maximum or jab, which is a recall attack that deals 100% of Barb's health. I will really need to get rid of that attack ASAP. Arriving at the final area, I realized I was about to unlock the deviants before ever getting access to any of the subspecies. So to at least have a chance to showcase these three, even I had obviously underestimated the level of their subspecies, I decided that for Green Nargacuga, Brute Tigrex, and Black Diablos, I would make an exception and bring them into the party. So I replaced Shinobi with Moss, Barb with Spiked, and Vostok with Japer. I also added Mackley so she would gain EXP. After catching up on levels, here is my usable party. For Feral Blagonga, I used Moss for his ability to use an AoE attack that would help with the ads. For this fight, I used Gravios' Gunlance primarily for its ability to defend and deal big damage to the crystals. When able to, I counted up Moss for a few turns before unleashing a double kinship to stop their focus on me, but also eliminate the ads. And once Blagonga was done, I did not use the Synchro Rush, instead opting on its Noun status to finally break the crystals and guaranteeing victory. For the Gosarag fight, I selected Japer, my Brute Tigrex. for his ice resistances and mono-targeted attacks. The tactic was as follows. I would use my gunlance to protect myself while Japer focused on damage. If either of us were low, I would use Nature Heal to recover. When I was able to, I would ride my monstie, and once low on health, I would use a double kinship instead of being knocked off. By the end, Korra was done, and I had to finish with a kinship attack. Here is what flying to the Sacrosanctum on a Gravius looks like.
Yes.
And for Malzeno, I use Spiked, my Black Diablos for dragon resistances, and mainly because I find Diablos to be a much harder fight than most Elder Dragons. My first target was its head. For those of you who don't know, Elder Dragons stabilize their powers using their horns, hence why breaking them ACP is important. Using a very pissed off Diablos, scoring this little prick to death as it was trying to count up to 3 was easy, as Diablos can only count up to gore. After his horns were broken, it was time to gore some more body parts until Eleanor was down, prompting me to turn this Draco Leech into a Leech Kebab, using one final kinship. With this fight done, I now have access to Deviants, replacing Moss with Kunoichi and Japer with Mackley. Right now I do not have a Bloodbath Diablos nor any equipment from Black Gravios. After using Rafa to fly up to the Feral Glavenus, I made 3 attempts, as it is a monster to defeat to get access to Bloodbath Diablos, but every attempt ended in disaster. My rudder had no chance of resisting any attacks. So after these attempts, I went online to see if Bloodbath was worth it for this run. And what I found was a resounding no. His resistances to dragon are way too low for my taste and needs, so I will be skipping it and keeping Spike. To make up for it, I went and fought a Black Diablos. I had a tactic ready where I would use Tigrex to pull out the Diablos out of the ground, have my gun lance ready to tank its horn attacks, but all it did was a single horn attack, where then pretty much died. With many armor, here are spiked stats. I will not be showing the others as they are not yet ready, and I do not want to overlevel. With that level in armor, I made 3 attempts. 2 were very close to be winning attempts, but even with very good luck, I would still fail. I made 3 more attempts 2 level later, one where I even used Rafa because I was tired of having the NPCs tell me to use Savage Fireball, only for them to be carded. I guess the game was telling me not to break my own rules. Fair. So, my opinion of Rafa remains unchanged. He's fucking useless. I already hated Artveld in Wild, but all this only made it so he is now at the top of my shit list, even above Kirin. Level 56 was finally the successful attempt. I used Ogden, Freezeal, and Spike because she's the only one with Dragon Defense. I rushed as much as I could to rush there and used my stamina sparingly for heals, allowing me a flawless victory. Shin was once again an easy fight. Hell, I reduced its HP to 0 before even breaking the crystals on its back. Starting the in-game grind, my first priority was, as I was collecting eggs, to defeat and create the remaining armors, namely Brute Tigrex, Green Norgakuga, and Black Gravios. I followed this up by defeating the Feral Bishatin. It was a very easy fight, nothing much of note happened. Because of the amount of remaining fights, I might not be able to showcase Kunoichi, my silver win. So here is Feral Espina, the final Feral monster of this run. with this done, here are the final habitat status. And the stats of my final party. Finally, back to the main story, we have to fight the battle-bound Azure Raphalos. This fight was a second try, mainly out of a misplay on my part. For this fight, I took Tia as an ally since all Raphas hate lightning, and Mackley to showcase the Greenclaw Tigrex. The fight wasn't too hard. As long as you use the right attack types, Raphalos should be midlife or below by the time he gets mad. Then the difficulty spikes a little. From there, make sure to use your stamina sparingly for heals. If you get knocked off, try to heal or change party members. I was switching between Mackley, Rooster, and Spike to stay alive, but used Mackley primarily for damage, only to finish with a kinship attack. We follow up with Battlebound Lunagaron. For this one, there are no tactic. Simply tank and spam your Espina skills. Your regen will handle the rest. If you doubt you will survive a hit, use your kinship skill. Boom, done. Cooked ice doggo. So, after doing the Lunagaron fight, I realized I still had the meal active. But as you can see, it's an EXP up meal. This was an oversight on my part, so I will admit to it, but because it was only an EXP up, it doesn't outright ruin the challenge either. What I'll do is I'll go fight a few enemies until the timer runs out. I was planning on leveling to 75 before I and Shin anyway. At level 75 after the meal expired, here are my stats. Ancient 2 was the next boss fight, and a first try. I used Korra for her tanking abilities and used Spike for her dragon resistances. I was double carded right before I rounded my monsties back because of petrification, but once I was riding her, there was no getting me off from that stooping well. She was getting gored and gutted no matter what, until I ended the fight with a kinship of my own. And what a better way to finish this run than with a first try final Ancient. Well, if first try it was in no way easy, but Spike was the true MVP of this fight, tanking hit after hit. She was just as fearsome as I remember her being from the mainline games of the series. Though I carded a few times, she stood tall against this giant dragonfish and goring it to death, and ending the fight with a double attack as she was standing with only 1 HP.
さすが。
4つ目。ついに。
任せろ。行くぞ。
無理しないで。
使った。見切った。絶好調だな。耐える信号天狗。任せろ。決まれ。負けるもの。無理はするなよ。
ありがとう。
やった。
よし。失格を制した。私とアイシャで出るわ。ここでトガを生産する。力を貸して。こっちよ。はあ。コークです。
畳みかける。まだやるか。
With this run done, I have to say, I always liked the Flightless Flying Wyverns, especially Norgakuga and Tigrex. And this run only made me love them even more. Not as much as Mizutsune, but they are close seconds. I expected most fights would be pretty easy, but what I didn't expect setting in was to be stuck on that jerk Argveld and using Black Diablos for the final fight. Expected I would be using one of the deviants, but when I realized all of them were weak to dragon, this put a stop in my plans to use them, especially since so many enemies past the point I logged them would use dragon element. With that said, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. This helps my channel get more views and also motivates me to make more content.